Namaste. So tonight I'm going to read Book 4, Chapter 20 on Devaki's marriage. Om Bhagavatam Maha. Hari Om Tat Sat. Vyasa said, O Bharata, I now narrate to you about the relief of the burden of the earth, the destruction by the Yogamaya of the armies Kurukshetra and Prabhasa, the two sacred places, and about the birth due to the curse of Brigu of the Bhagavan Hari of unparalleled prowess under the influence of Mahamaya in the race of Yadu. Now here, Vishnu taking birth in the world was effected under the circumstances caused by Yogamaya to relieve the burden of the earth. This is my opinion. Note, Prabhas is a well-known place of pilgrimage near Dwarika in Gujarat. O King, when the goddess Mahamaya, the incarnate of the three qualities, can make Brahma, Vishnu and the other devas dance incessantly as their internal controller, then what wonder that she would appear charming to the other jivas and make them dance incessantly as wooden dolls. All the troubles incurred in remaining in the womb amidst the urine, excrete and tissues she had brought to bear finally on Vishnu by her ever-famous Leela, divine sport. In days of yore, in Rama incarnation, she, that supreme goddess, made the gods become monkeys, and you know very well already what amount of trouble Bhagavan Vishnu had to undergo by the hard iron chain of bondage. This is mine, this is I, etc., imposed by Maya. The yogis who want final liberation and who have abandoned all their attachments and who want devotion, they worship the supreme goddess of the universe, the incarnate of auspiciousness. O King, who will not serve her? A trace of devotion towards whom effects at once the salvation of the jivas. If any human being utters simply the name Bhuvaneshwari, the goddess of the universe, she gives him the three worlds. And if anyone cries and utters for help, save me, then the goddess of the universe, being unable to find anything that she can repay him as fit recompense for his utterance, becomes herself in debt to that man. O King, no vidya, knowledge, and avidya, non-knowledge, spiritual ignorance, lower knowledge, her two forms. Vidya gives liberation, avidya causes bondage. Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, all these and their avatars are her instruments and are under her subjection, as if they are all fastened by a cord. The Bhagavan Hari sometimes resides in Vaikuntha, sometimes resides in the sea of milk and enjoys pleasures, sometimes fights the powerful Danavas, sometimes performs extensive sacrificial ceremonies, sometimes performs severe asceticisms, and sometimes takes too deep sleep under the guidance of Yoga Maya. Thus, he never becomes free and independent. O King, unlike Vishnu, Brahma, Rudra, the other gods, Indra, Varuna, Yama, Kuvera, Agni, the sun, moon, and other celestial gods, the Sanaka and other munis, Vashishta and other rishis, all are incessantly controlled by the supreme goddess, as if they are the dolls in the hands of a playing magician. All the devas are controlled by the noose of time, just as oxen are brought under control by men, by strings passed within their nooses. O king, pleasure, pain, sleep, lassitude, idleness, and other passions and feelings are always found inherent in every embodied being. The devas are written down by authors in their books as not subject to death or decay. This statement is merely normal and not real. For whoever is always subject to birth, growth, decay, and death, how can we call him immortal or beyond old age and death? Why do the devas get into sorrows and troubles? How can they be called gods? How can one enjoy when one is involved in a trouble? In this world, it is seen mosquitoes and other insects born from water die after a very short time. So, like these, the devas, at the expiry of their ordained life period, die too. Then why not the devas be treated like those insects? Why not shall we term them mortal? Some human beings live 1 year, some others live up to 100 years. The devas live longer than men. The life of the Prajapati Brahma exceeds those of the devas. Rudra lives longer than Brahma and Vishnu lives longer than Rudra. All these are thus subject by turns to birth, growth, and decay. Those who are born, they die. Those that die are again born. Thus, O king, in this world, all the jivas, no doubt, move round and round like a wheel. The jivas are deluded by the network of moha charms and thus deluded. They can never gain final release. So long as Maya exists in them, their delusion is not destroyed. O king, at the time of creation, Brahma and all other things came into existence in due order, and these will duly dissolve at the time of the great dissolution, the pralaya. Whatever is the cause of destruction to anybody here that destroys the body in question according to the willpower of the Supreme Goddess, whatever is created by Brahma, none can undo that. Know this as perfectly certain. Know this, the precedented law, that the birth, death, old age, diseases, pain and pleasure overtake all the jivas according to the prescribed order of nature. Never these laws fail to operate in their actions. See the devas that we see with our physical eyes, the sun and moon, yield pleasure to all. Still they suffer always troubles at the hands of their enemies, i.e. Rahu and Ketu, i.e. they always take place regularly, solar and lunar eclipses. When they are in the ascending and descending modes, this suffering is never removed. The son of the sun, Saturn, is always injurious to people. Hence it is termed manda, bad. The moon was attacked with consumption and bears stain on his body, spots in the moon disk. What to speak of ordinary men? The great men even are subject to the prescribed laws of fate and nature. The creator of this world, the four-faced Brahma, is the author of the Vedas and awarder of intelligence. He, too, on seeing Saraswati, his own daughter, was afflicted with passion. When Sati, the wife of Shiva, left off her mortal coil, Mahadeva, though he could remove the sorrows of all, was very much moved with passion and greatly afflicted. Then, being burnt very much, as it were by the fire of passion, he threw himself down into the water of the river Kalindi, and the water of that river became black-colored, as if burnt by the burning fire of the sorrows of Shiva. O king, when Mahadeva, being infatuated with Kama, went into the forest of Brigu and becoming naked, began to copulate, the ascetic Brigu, seeing him in that state, exclaimed, "Oh, you are very shameless," and cursed him thus, let your penis drop off just now. Mahadeva then, to satisfy his thirst for passion, began to drink the water of the lake Amrita Vapi, dug by the Danavas. Indra too, the lord of the Devas, turned into a bull and carried Vishnu on his back on the face of the earth. What to speak where the omniscience and omnipotence disappeared of Bhagavan Vishnu, who is the first of all created beings and possessed of reason and discrimination. Oh, what a great wonder that he could not know about the golden deer. Judge, O king, for yourself the great power of Maya, that even Ramachandra was deluded by passion and very much grieved for the separation from his dear wife Sita, and wept much for her, greatly deluded, and began to cry aloud and ask the trees, where has gone my Sita, the daughter of Janaka? Is she devoured by the rapacious animals? Or whether she is stolen by some mischievous person? O brother Lakshmana, I am being consumed by the fire of separation from my beloved. I will commit suicide now, and you too will die due to the separation from me. Our mother too would die when they will hear of our deaths. Shatrughna too will be very much afflicted at our death and will not hold his life. The mother, Sumitra, too will destroy her life, being afflicted with her son's demise, and then Bharata's and his mother's desires will certainly be fulfilled. O Sita, I am very much moved by your separation. Where have you gone, leaving me here, O dear-eyed, O one of thin waist? Come, give life unto me. What shall I do? Where shall I go? My life is entirely dependent on you. O daughter Janaka, O daughter of Janaka, I am your darling. Now I am very much depressed owing to your separation. Please come and speak to me words of hope and courage. Though Rama of unequaled prowess roamed about weeping from forest to forest, yet he could not find out Sita. He who is the refuge of all the worlds, the lotus-eyed Rama, got entangled into the delusion of Maya and had to take refuge himself under the monkeys, and with the help constructed the bridge across the ocean, crossed the ocean, and was thus able to kill the valiant warriors Kumbhakarna and Ravana. Then Rama got back his Sita before him, but suspecting, since she had been stolen by the vicious Ravana, made her take an oath, though it is to be remembered that Rama was all-knowing. O king, the power of Yoga Maya is very great. What shall I speak of her great power? This whole cosmos is always urged into activity by her, and thus goes rolling on and on incessantly. Thus, in various incarnations, Bhagavan Vishnu was always under the influence of previous curse, and also under the control of destiny, and had to do various functions incessantly. O king, now I will speak to you about the birth of Shri Krishna in the world for serving the purposes of gods, and will narrate his Leela. In days of yore, on the delightful banks of the river Kalindi, there was a place called Madhuban, where lived a powerful Daitya named Lavana, the son of Madhu. The wicked demon was exceedingly arrogant. On getting a boon, and he used to give an enormous amount of trouble to the Dvijas. Shatrughna, the younger brother of Lakshmana, killed that uncontrollable Daitya and built a very beautiful city there and named it Mathura. The intelligent Shatrughna, the destroyer of enemies, installed his two lotus-eyed sons in that kingdom, and when his end came, went to heaven. Afterwards, on the decline of the solar race, the Yadavas, born of the race of Yayati, occupied that Mathura city, giving salvation to all. O king, there reigned in Mathura city one Yadava king, valiant warrior named Surasena, and he enjoyed all the pleasures Mathura. Under the curse of Varuna, Vasudeva took his birth as the son of the renowned Surasena, as the part incarnate of Kashyapa. He took up the profession of a Vyasa and engaged himself in agriculture. And on the death of his father, the prosperous and wealthy Ugrasena became the king of Mathura. The powerful Kamsa was the son Ugrasena. Kamsa was the son of Ugrasena. On the other hand, the king Devaka had a daughter born to him named Devaki, the part incarnate of Aditi. She, under the curse of Varuna, followed Kashyapa. The high-souled king Devaka performed the marriage ceremony of his daughter Devaki with Vasudeva. When this marriage ceremony was over, a voice was heard from heaven saying, "O fortunate Kamsa, the eighth son of Devaki will take away your life." The powerful Kamsa, hearing that voice from heaven, was surprised and took it to be true and became very anxious. Kamsa began to argue in his mind. Once he thought, "I would today destroy her, then my death wouldn't take place, for I can't see any other way of escape from this difficulty." Again he thought, "She is my sister, daughter of my paternal uncle, and therefore fit to be worshipped. How can I kill her?" Lastly, he came to the final conclusion thus: "She is the curse of my death, though she is my sister, fit to be worshipped. To kill her will not lead me to sin, for it is enjoined by the wise, do even a sin to avert one's own death. The sins can be remedied always by penances. Therefore, to save one's life by committing even a sinful act ought to be done by the wise." The vicious Kamsa, thus arguing, holding the scabbard in his hand, drew from it the sword and dragged and caught hold of the newly married handsome woman by her hair to kill her before the presence of the public. A cry of universal consternation and distress arose on all sides, seeing Kamsa thus ready to kill Devaki. Then the warriors under Vasudeva at once raised their bows and arrows, ready to fight. Those wonderful, valorous warriors loudly exclaimed to Kamsa, "Leave Devaki at once, leave Devaki at once." And then they were finally able, out of their mercy, to release the Devamata Devaki from the hold of the vicious Kamsa. Deadly battles ensued then between the powerful Kamsa and those valorous warriors on Vasudeva's side. Seeing the exceedingly terrible battle, the old Yadavas asked Kamsa to desist from such a battle and advise him thus: "This Devaki is your sister. You ought to pay her respects. Did you not consider even for a moment that she is as yet a girl? O hero, you ought not to kill her at the time of this joyous marriage ceremony. O valiant warrior, the murder of a woman is intolerable, destroyer of fame, and most heinous crime. You should also consider that learned persons ought not to commit such dastardly acts as the murdering of females, depending simply on a voice from heaven, a very ordinary thing. It may be that some of your Vasudeva's enemy has uttered that harmful word, hiding himself from your sight. No reason can be shown contrary to this. We are of opinion that to ruin your name and to destroy the house of Vasudeva, some magician expert in black magic, your enemy has framed this voice from heaven. O king, you are a hero. Why do you fear the words of a devil? We firmly believe there is no doubt that this is done by your malicious enemy to ruin your name. O king, what is destined to take place will take place. No one can stand against it otherwise. Therefore, at this marriage festivity, you ought never to kill this your respected sister. O King Janamejaya, though made to understand thus by the old wise Yadavas, the king Kamsa did not desist from his purpose. Sri Vasudeva, versed in morals, told him, Kamsa, these three worlds are established on truth. I say on truth that I will hand over to you all my sons born of the womb of Devaki, no sooner they are born. And if I do not deliver to you all those sons, no sooner they are born, then all my forefathers will fall down into the hell called Kumbhipaka. The descendants of Puru that were present there, hearing his truthful words, praised him repeatedly and told Kamsa, Vasudeva is a high-minded personage. He is surely not to tell a lie. Therefore, O thou blessed one, now leave Devaki and be free from committing the murder of woman. O king, thus made to understand by the aged, high-minded Yadavas, the king Kamsa accepted the truthful words of Vasudeva and abandoned his anger. Then the dunduvis and other surrounding instruments were sounded, and their sounds filled the place, and all repeatedly uttered Jai, Jai. Then the famous Vasudeva, the son of Surasena, thus pleased the king Kamsa and freed Devaki, and surrounded by his relatives, he went quickly without any fear to his own house, accompanied by Devaki. Here ends the 20th chapter in the 4th Adhyaya of Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, the Mahapuranam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Vedvyasa on Devaki's marriage. Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Padra Kali Ki Bhakti Kali. Om Jayavant, Om Jayavant, Om Jayavant. Hari Om. Un tuya mata, cipita tuya bandusha, chasaka tuya, vijaya dabinam tuya.